It's your Sleepless God back with the new video, new series even, of what if Hiccup from How Do You Train Your Dragon was a Dragon King. Let's start it out. So as we see Burke zooming into a picture, we see the cities, almost a little city, little town even. It's not really a city even in that. It's a little town moving across the field as we see this one house more on top of a hilltop than anything else, as it is basically all by its lonesome, all by as we zoom into that, as we see a younger man, uh, approximate age 15, 16 years old, nothing too massive, as he's sleeping silently almost, as almost this light comes from his window as it shines into him. He started opening his eyes a little bit, and he's like, "Fucking morning already? What the hell?" Well, it's like it's not even close. As he starts walking to the window, as you see as the entire village is on fire a little bit. He's like, "Burke, where some places have mice, rodents, stuff like that, we have fucking dragons." And beautiful things they are. As you see, like a whispering death, almost not whispering. As we see, like every type of dragon almost to. Whispering Death is a different type of dragon. There's a lot of dragons with the fucking name Death in this series. I think we need to figure that shit out. We have like we see like Gronkles, and uh, sorry, I have to remember these dragons' names. Yeah, I know we have Gronkles and we have uh uh um uh uh Mystria. No wait, Tortoise. Most Tortoise Nightmares uh and then all around just bunch of dragons. I don't know all their fucking names. Don't if you comment down below. I have most of them written down. I just don't have all of them. But they're all flying around as this town is filled up with. It's an old town. It's an old with new land with new buildings almost every day. As we see some buildings are on fire right now. Some people are trying to keep them out. As he's like, well, if you don't know, in my story, and let me tell you this real quick, is I'm part of this city in a sort of sense, but I don't care about the people, and I don't care about the people at all in any sense of the word. As Hiccup is looking over the city, I'm a Dragon King, and in that sense, I don't. I love the dragons. As we see one of the dragons with a mighty axe gets their head chopped off, as he's you see Hiccup kind of cringe a little bit, and almost it almost seems like he's angry, but it seems like he's just almost infuriated that he can't do anything from it. As he's like, but I don't care about the people here, not really, but I'm a person, and I guess this is my land, kind of. As we see a monstrous nightmare fly across his almost his house. I finally figured out the name. As uh he says, but those. As we see the monstrous nightmare almost slowing down and bow to him with his head. As we see him it seems like he's carrying off sheep. Those are my people. Those are my monsters. Those are my kingling almost. Something's been happening though, and I'm not super well with it. It seems like there's a queen here, and I can't stop it myself because uh, I am not aware of where she's at. She's keeping her place very hidden. and my dragons will not tell me for the obvious sense of their mind control and their fear of their kingling. But when I find her, I'll rip her apart, piece by motherfucking piece. As Hiccup starts looking out the window, as he's still like looking over Burke burning, as he says, but things can happen. Things might happen differently. As he starts leaning off to go back to bed, as he hears screaming. Now, as he looks over he looks over and he says, "I do not care for people at all, but I'm still human." As you see him run out, jump over his window and do almost like the somersault, as he starts sprinting to a burning building. When he's sprinting, he gets to the back, almost this back exit where the back door is, and he's like, "Fuck. Why does my humanity have to keep me?" As he grabs almost part of his cloak, rips it off, and shoves it onto his face as he kicks the door down. As he starts looking over the building, he says, as the fire, he's walking straight forward. The fire doesn't hurt him at all. As he looks at all these, he's trying to find him. As he's like, "Hey, where the frick? Hey, where are you?" As you see a very young child, probably the age of 6 or 7 years old, it seems like underneath a table, passed out because of the smoke. Because of smoke. As God, Hiccup grabs the child, puts him over his shoulder as he sprints out the building. As he hits the back door, as he already broke down the back door, as he sprints through it, as he basically puts the child down, as he starts looking over the child, as the child starts coughing and starts gaining a consciousness a little bit, as he's like, no, calm down, chill. You need to start breathing very shallowly, start taking deep breaths, start trying to feel back, as a gronkle flies over him, as you see a gronkle and a deadly natter, both of them fly over them in packs, as he's like, calm down, just stay calm and start breathing. As the child started opening his eyes, as Hiccup covers his eyes and says, don't look, your eyes will be burning for a couple of seconds. As he stands up, as he puts his green, almost kind of burnt shirt over the child and says, "Just calm down and chill." As he starts looking away, as he starts seeing some families starting to get back to order, because it seems like the attack is ending. As he just runs back to where he is, as he's basically climbs up this kind of hillish area, as he hides in a almost forest place. As he looks down, as he sees the mother or father of this almost kid, as the kid is almost this blondish kind of blondish hair kid, who is boy, obviously kind of blondish hair kid with this almost bluish eyes to him, as he grabs the shirt that he gave him, and is as his parents are "Are you okay? Are you fine?" As the kid's "Yeah, I'm fine. I don't know what happened." He's come here. We gotta go with your sisters and see what's going on next." As Hiccup looks over at the burning city and says, "I told you, I don't like people." As he walks back to his house, as he closely falls back asleep, trying to get back as much sleep as possible until the morning hits and he has to do his duties. As when he wakes up in the morning, his face and his body feels a little bit still tired. Even though he should have had the 8 hours of sleep that he normally gets, he still feels a little tired, a little exhausted, a little bit sleep deprived. As he starts getting up, as he realizes, oh shit, I forgot, I don't have my shirt. As he looks down, as he's like, oh yeah, I gave it to that child, didn't I? Yeah. As he starts dressing up, as he's like, what should I could put? Can I put anything for my shirt? As he's like, fuck, I guess gray it is. As he grabs a grayish kind of shirt, as he grabs his greenish cloak to him, and he puts it near the table. But he's like, I'm not gonna need that for today. As he grabs his hammer from the table, and he grabs a couple tools that he might need for his job as he exits the building. As he goes, it seems goes into another building, more of a forge-like area almost in a sense, with forge and stock. As he seems like there's lots of metal in that area. As right when he walks out of his building, you can see that there's already 3 to 4 people already in line to go into his area. Most of them are men, some of them with broken swords and stuff like that. As he's like, you know the cost and you know what the wait is. I don't know why you always come early. As he opens his doors and says, I'm gonna have to take a couple seconds to the line, the 4 lines of people. He's like, just give me a couple seconds. As he shuts the door, as he puts his tools down, as he's like, making tools to kill my own kind. Kind of stupid of me. As he opens the doors and says, give me your stuff and tell me what's wrong with it. You see an older man, about the age of 30 to 40-ish years old, with a grain, not really a grain beard, still red in vigor, but it seems more tired, and like the attacks has finally got to him a little bit. As he's like, my axe is, the metal part of my axe is shattered on a Gronkle's back. As he says, yeah, so perfectly fine, just put it down. As another man gives him a sword and says, a whispering death has actually crawled up and ate half the sword as it went back down to the ground. He's like, yeah, okay, perfectly fine. He's like, another one man comes out, as he's like, he has almost like this metal leg, and he's like, monstrous nightmare burned my foot off completely. And he's like, okay, just give me a few minutes. You know you can go to Gobber with the missing leg thing, right? Be less of a wait. He's like, yeah, but Gobber gives less equipment error and stuff like that. As he's like, fine, I got it. As he starts putting the stuff together, he starts going with the sword because that would be the easiest. As he starts the metal process of fixing the sword and adding the thing that the Whispering Death ate, as he hammers out the last pieces, he finally puts that down as his brother Hamish walks through the front door. As Hiccup is like, Hamish, as he starts starting to iron out the one of the broken halves of the axe, and he says, I'm kind of busy right now, work. And I'm like, you should know. As he starts hammering out the pieces to the axe, he's like, I know, but as he's blocking off the piece, you should know. He's like, yeah, but there's a family meeting with mother, father, and Hamish and Herbert with me too, and they want you to join in. You are part of the family and part of the royal, I guess you can say, people in here. So we want your mindset of this, especially with your talents. As he finishes off the last pieces, he attaches it onto there. As he grabs the axe and starts looking at it, seeing if it's perfectly level, seeing if everything's fine. He says, he hands it back to the man as he seems like he gives him 3 golden pieces. As he says, yeah, yeah, yeah. When is it? Today. He looks at him, today? Right after the dragon attack? Really? As he says, yeah, Stoic, Dad, wants us to look it over, see if there's anything that our defenses are flawed or anything, and what can we add? He says, yeah, I guess we can. As he sees sees Hiccup grab like one of the prosthetics that he's been working on a little bit, and he just adds a little bit of piece, and he said like a little bit more length, a little bit, as he like clicks it onto like to the man who lost his limb, and he adds on the straps and everything like that. As the old man gives him like not old, but like oldish for him. He gives him 5 golden pieces, and he says, "But I don't know about any of this. You know, should know this. I don't persist in the dragon attacks. I give you weapons. That's it. And meanwhile, how's that axe that I gave you? The axe, it works perfectly fine. I love it, but it's a little hefty, kind of. That's why. So you can because you can chop things a lot easier. Because if you're going to swing down with the weight in into it itself, gravity pulls it down and slashes down. As like the guy was like, gravity. What the fuck is gravity? It's like, oh, I kind of forgot that people don't know what gravity is. As he said, there's a force that pulls you down. That's why you're still standing here, isn't it? Like I guess you can say that's what pulls down your axe and makes you swing faster. Just just saying a little heavy. As he says, not compared to Stoics. As he says, why don't you say Dad? As he's like, what? He's like, you always call Mom, but you call Stoic, our dad, Stoic. You never call him by his name. You never call him by, like, you only call him by his title. You all call him Chieftain or Stoic. As, I don't know. I just guess I don't really count him. Count him as what? Like, as a father? Or is like what? What do you don't count him as? He says, I don't know. He brought you guys with attention. He trained you how to be warriors. He did that. I had my mother. And that's why I have the brains. As Hubert is like, no, this is Hamish. Hamish is like, yeah. And this is also why you have none of the muscles. And he's like, yeah, none of the muscles. Are you sure about that one? He's like, he looks over, like, yeah, but you're lean. You're not like us. As he's like starting to flex, he's like, yeah, I'd rather have 96% of my brains and 0% of your muscles than ever have more muscle than brain. As he's like Hamish is like, why? Like muscles, stuff like that. We can do a lot of stuff with that. He says, we can lift things, move things. And he says, I can do the exact same thing. As he points to his head, and he says, with this. He's like, I still don't fucking get it. But just remember, as he looks at his son as he like looks up, and he's like, 2 hours. Go to the building. Go to the big building, to the court, and see what we think we should do. As he's like, oh, fine. But if I say anything bad, and you start getting angry at me, they decided I belong here. Okay. As he's like, as Hamish is like, fine, but just remember, stop trying to get Hubert mad. He's like, yeah. First off, why do we name him Hubert? It's like, don't ask me. That was Dad's choosing. The same thing why we named you Hiccup. As he's like, the troll story. The troll story. Bad names brings runs away trolls. And he says, why did you get the good name? Like what? Hamish. Hamish is not bad. Yeah, and Hiccup. That's pretty cool too. He's like, I guess, but as the brothers kind of look at him for a couple seconds. He's like, Hamish's sword is getting kind of dull though. Of course, he wields it like a monkey. will get dull. As he's like, as Herbert kind of smiles a little bit and he says, "That's why I like you." And it's like what? He's like, Hubert, I can tell him something. He doesn't crack up. He just tells me the facts. You'll make jokes. You'll explain stuff that will make that other person go crazy into a simple manner. And this is why I like you as my brother. As he's like, and this is why I hate you as my brother. As they both smile at each other, and he's like, just remember, come, come down to the, come down to the village table for the meeting. As you see, like Hamish starts yawning as he's like, gosh, the dragon attacks are keeping me up too late. I'll see ya. See ya. As Hiccup looks over, as he says, 2 hours. I have time for some grub. As he runs out of his building. As this is where we're ending off, I hope you guys liked the video. Also subscribe, and comment down below what if this was good or not. I do not mind. Also, the people, all of you that have been commenting down below, so many good things. I'm only getting one though. I will call you out. I'll call you out, bro. The one guy, and if you watch this, I'm not, even if it does hit 3 likes, I was joking. I'm not gonna do the major kissing scenes. I want to explain better the kissing scenes, just for your for your help. But thank you down below for just liking the video and helping me out. See you guys later. Goodbye.